guys, back again on another video. Today I'm going to teach chapter number 9, the last part of the video, which is activity 3, activity 4 and activity 5. I hope you guys have watched part 1, part 2 and part 3, and those videos will be giving you a complete idea about chapter number 9. And part 3 is a complete picture about bank reconciliation statement. If you really wanted to score better on bank reconciliation statement, please go and watch chapter number 9, part 3, which will be always useful. I have uploaded from chapter 1 to chapter number 9 completely on all these videos. The links are below. You can go from chapter 1 to chapter 9 and watch everything. And I hope to give every student the complete answer from this activity 3 to activity 5 on this particular video. Please do not forget to subscribe my channel to learn with me more in future, and hit the bell button so you will be notified every time I upload a video, and that will be useful for you. This channel's main intention is to teach the students to learn commerce at free cost, and I will try to do that at maximum. Let's start chapter number 9, part 4, the last video of chapter number 9. I'm in page number 130. You can see activity 3. I'm going to read the question and then find the answer for this. I'll be using my Excel sheet to do my calculations. As previous videos you would have seen how good we are in doing calculations. So let's start activity 3. Sevandi Pereira's business has a favorable bank account balance of rupees 45,000. At the end of the month of July 2000, however, the bank statement has a different balance. The following reasons are identified for this difference. The following checks have been deposited but not yet have been realized as 31/7/2000. So have not yet been realized mean it is unrealized checks which they are preferring on this question. So unrealized checks will be added back, and unrealized will be deducted from the bank reconciliation statement, and unrealized and unpresented will be added back. So for your knowledge, guys. Then we move on to the next part. So if you are good in understanding, if you have watched the part 3 video, then of course you will be easily understanding this particular area. Following checks have been issued during the month, but they have not yet been presented to the bank for payment as of 31/7/2000. So this has not been presented to the bank. So this is checks of unpresented checks. So now these checks has been gone out of the business from the business side, but not represented to the bank, means bank has got that, but they have not recorded it. So these mistakes, we should correct it on the bank reconciliation statement. Why we should correct it on the bank reconciliation statement is explained on part 3. Again, please watch it, so you'll have a complete idea on what I'm speaking about. The following items, those appeared in the bank statement, have not been entered in the bank account. So this is where bank account has some sort of problems, because they're saying that these have not been adjusted in the bank account. So what we need to do, we need to adjust these things in the bank account properly. The insurance premium paid by the bank as a standing order of rupees 8,000. The direct remittance of rupees 8,000 to the bank as dividends of rupees 4,200. Bank charge deducted by the bank rupees 2,500. So we need to record all these type of adjustments on this adjusted bank account. So now they're asking adjust the bank account, prepare the bank reconciliation statement as a 31/7/2000 by using the adjusted bank account balance. Now you need to understand one particular thing. When I'm going to do this bank account bank reconciliation, I'm not going to get the final balance. Now on the previous video, I said that the bank statement balance and the bank reconciliation statement balance should be correct, then only our account is correct. But actually here they didn't give the bank statement balance, because they only gave the bank account balance on this question, if I'm not mistaken. They're saying the bank account balance has 45,000. So here we don't have a chance to get the tally weave of the accounting, but we can get some sort of understanding of the sum what we are going to do now. Let's start the sum from the beginning, from the first point. I'm going to open up a bank statement. So I'm going to move on to my sheet 1. So I'll open up a bank statement. I'm a bit slow on doing sums, because I don't want to go faster. Everyone here are not that fast learners. There are slow learners also in our class, so we'll go a bit slow and we'll learn as much as possible. So I'm going to zoom a bit inside, so you'll have a complete view on what I'm going to do. So this is the bank account which I'm going to write, but I'm going to write here adjusted bank account as they have requested us to do. And I'm going to take debit and credit side. The left side is debit and the right side is credit. So easy as that. We have put the adjusted bank account, and they are given a balance cost. You all can see here the balance account balance was 45,000 end of the month. So we can start on the beginning of the month. They are saying on July month end, and also we are doing this also on the month end. It's not important to put the date because just for your information, I'm just writing brought forward 45,000 because they already said this it's month end. If you want, you can write 31st July. But for your understanding, I am not going to do that, guys, because this is not past paper. This is just a textbook, and you can just understand it very straightforwardly. And they're saying that check number 4894, this is related to bank reconciliation statement. So I'm going to move on to the next particular area. On the bank account balances adjustments, what is this bank account balance adjustment? They are given the insurance premium paid by the bank as standing order 8,000. So I'm going to move on to my bank. Standing order is some sort of payment which is requested by the customer to make the payment to the from the bank to the correct account. So now when a customer, which is the current account holder, requests the banks to make certain payments, that is known as standing order. So standing order will always be credit on the bank account. So I'm going to write standing order on the opposite side. What is the amount of standing order? It's 8,000 if I'm not mistaken. Record that first of all, then move on to my balance again. What is my balance here? So this is a standing order. So insurance premium, you can write insurance premium standing order. Still standing order is also fine. The direct remittance of rupees 8,000 to the bank as dividends of rupees 4,200. So they are given, I don't know how they given one and one, but as this question is not a bit clear, so I'm going to take direct remittance as a money which we have received but not yet recorded, and again dividends we have received but not yet recorded. So I'm going to take two balances on the debit side because direct remittance is what we receive, so we need to put it on the debit side. So the direct remittance 8,000, and I'm going to write dividends 4,200, right? 4,200. So recorded basics one. Then we move on to the next part. The bank charge deducted by the bank 2,500. So bank has deducted, but we forgot to record it. So we need to record this bank charges 2,500. So I hope you guys are doing with me the sum. Then we have 45,000, 8,000, and 4,200. So I'm going to take the total. It's going to be 57,200. So I'm going to take one total column in both sides. So I'm going to tally this 57,200. So you don't get a calculator, guys. I just added because I can just see it in Excel in a corner, but you can't do that because we need to add it. 8,000 plus 2,500 is 10,500. So you need to remove 57,200 minus 10,500. I added 8,000 plus 2,500. So that is 10,500. So I removed this 10,500 from this 57,200. So I'm going to write 57,200 here. So the carried down balance is going to be carried forward is going to be 46,700. Now this is the balance you should always take to the bank reconciliation statement. So I'm going to draw a bank reconciliation statement. It's better 3 column is more than enough to draw this. So I'm going to draw a bank reconciliation statement to finalize the unpresented checks and unrealized checks. Remember, unpresented and unrealized checks always comes under it comes under bank reconciliation statement for understanding, guys. So I'm not going to take a big rows like 10 or 12. I'll just take 5 to 6 rows is more than enough, guys. So I'm going to write here this adjusted bank account. Whose business is this? It's Save One this business, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, if you want, you can write Save One this business. Yeah. Okay. If not, it's not a mandatory thing to write in exams. So and also I can write here rather than Save One this business, I can write bank reconciliation. Remember to write the date if you can. Asset 31st July. They didn't say the year, so they gave like this. So I'm going to write the same thing, adjusted bank account for asset 31st. So it's not a must. I'll not write here. So now again, bank reconciliation, it's not a must, but I can start with the balance. Now, which balance I'm going to take here? We always remember I'm going to take the balances from the adjusted bank account. This carried forward 46,700 is the balance I'm going to take it under bank reconciliation statement. So I'm going to take 46,700 here. I'll write adjusted balance as per adjusted bank account. Easy as that. So we are done. We got the values. Now I'm going to add the unpresented checks and deduct the unrealized checks. So I explained you this clearly. why I add unpresented checks and unrealized check. The link is below, guys. Go and watch the part 3. You'll understand it completely on representation, unrealized checks. So I'm going to write the check numbers. As you all can see, what is the check number they have given? The check number is 45 and 49. The 45 check number is speaking about 11,400 and 8,600. So check number 45 is an unpresented check. I can write 45 CHQ. It's not a mandatory thing. 45 and CHQ 49. So what is the amount they have given on the sum? 11,400, and then how much is the value? 8,600. So I'm going to take this total. It's a addition, so I'm going to take the total as addition. Means we need to add it, guys. How do you add it? We'll take the entire value 20,000 here. So we will add it. How much is the value? Then we get 66,700 when I add with 46,700. Then I'm going to take this value a bit down to have some gap. What I'm going to do, then unrealized checks, what's the value they have given on the sum? Let me move on to the next page, because they are given it on 130 and 131. What is the value they have given on the sum, guys? Check number 48 and check number 94, 7,500 and 8,600. So I'm going to take 7,500 on the unrealized check. Check number, let me see the check number. Check number 48. So if you want, you can write like check number 48. All right, I'm just writing CHQ. Don't write CHQ in exams, guys. Write check number 49 or whatever the amounts they are given, 94. So 48 and 90. 4 is the value, 7,500 and 8,600. So I'm going to take 7,500, 8,600, right? So I'm going to take the total again, but I'm going to deduct here. The reason this should be deducted 16,100. So I'll take brackets 16,100, and always remember to show the deduction on under the brackets, guys. That is where the examiner thinks that you have some sort of brain, and if you have a brain, of course everyone has a brain, but you can, like, you are a bit smart. He thinks like, okay, this guy is representing everything in a correct order, so I will deduct 16,100 and I'll write 50,600 as the balance as per bank statement. So guys, now here the particular thing in activity 3, what we didn't do is like, we can't cross check is the bank statement and the bank reconciliation balance is correct. On the next activity 4, if I'm not mistaken, they are given to balance by seeing is it correct or wrong. So we will do it now in a while. Let's start, guys. Bank account. I mean, this is the entire view of what I have actually done. So I want you guys to have a view on what I actually did. So now this is the actual activity 3 which we did together. So I'm going to write activity 3. So this is going to help you if you get a homework in school. You can just refer it, or if you feel like you need to get practice. Some students think like that we don't go classes. So how do we know that what we did is correct? So you guys can do this activity and see that, okay, what sir has done and what I have done is completely correct. So it might be correct. So this type of understanding will come only if you practice at home as much as possible. Always remember, guys, the textbook is the best way to learn anything. Government textbook is the best source you can always use when it comes to exam. I have explained almost 9 chapters completely with activities. Maybe 1 or 2 activities I would have missed, but I will be uploading all the activities in future. Don't worry. So now I'm going to take activity 4 and let's start doing activity 4 now. Okay, you guys can see this now. This is activity number 4. I'm gonna move on to the question and show you which activity I'm doing. You guys can see here, following are extracted from the bank account of Jayaratna Silva's business and the bank statement received for the bank as at 31/7/2000, and they have given a bank account, and you might see the balance carried on 90,000. That is the amount which I'm going to start the sum. And this is the balance they are given at the end of the month. You have a 14,000 balance on the bank statement. Now, when I do and finish this sum at final point, you should get 14,000 in bank reconciliation statement. When you get 14,000 in bank reconciliation statement, trust me, you have done the sum correct. But these page numbers are in 2 different places. To make it easy, I put these 2 questions in one place, but the first question is a bit different. State the reasons for the difference between the balances as at 31st/5/2000. So first you need to identify the reasons why it is are getting different, and those reasons you need to write it down. Then they're asking you to do adjust the bank account balance as at 31st 5th 2000 the year, and prepare the bank reconciliation statement using the adjusted bank balance. Now let's move on to the sum. We are going to prepare these basic things, but first we need to know the understanding about the sums. So what you need to do is, remember guys, I taught you this way of getting what values should come. First of all, I'm going to take my bank account and compare with my bank statement. When I compare my bank account with my bank statement, I might get the unrealized checks and unpresented checks. Then I compare my bank statement with the bank account. So I'll be getting the adjustments related to bank account. When I compare my bank account with my bank statement, remember what I would get? I will get the details which is relevant to bank reconciliation statement. When I compare my bank statement with the bank account, then I will get adjustments related to bank account. So having this in your mind, if you don't understand, again, replay it so you will understand it in a better manner. So you might see here, bank account and bank statement. I'm going to compare now. I hope you guys can see this value. If this value is not visible, zoom a bit and you can have a complete view on what I'm going to do. As this is the maximum way they have given, I'm going to compare. Remember guys, when you compare your bank account on the debit side along with the credit side of the bank statement. And I have explained you on previous videos why bank statement is credit and bank account is debit. And bank account credit, I'm going to compare with the bank statement debit side. Okay, so we are going to do this comparison. So I'm going to take a stamp. You know what a stamp? Stamp is going to put a click that the value is correct. So 16,000 debit side is credit side 16,000 correct. 20,000 cash you can see here, that is correct with this 20,000 on the credit side. 14,000 debit side is okay with the 142 check number. You can see the check number 14,000 correct. Then we have 15,000 234 check deposited. That is also correct. It is tallying with check deposited 234. Then we have check deposited 184 18,000. It's not there. So if it is not there, I put it cross. Okay, there's a reason. Now I compared my debit side with the credit side of the bank account. What I show it in my debit side is the real unrealized checks. Unrealized checks are like for my account it is realized, but on the bank side they haven't realized it. So I can write here. Okay, I can write here a small thing which you also need to understand. I'm going to compare. I compared now the first side, but I'm going to write here the debit side unrealized check. What is the value of unrealized check which we found? We found unrealized check on the debit side. I compared my bank account with the bank statement. So I found bank unrealized check. The value is 18,000. I'll zoom a bit later, guys. The check number is 184. So I'll write just 184 here for my clearance. This is the way you should also do it in your exams. I'm going to compare my credit side with the debit side of the bank statement. I'm going to take a stamp. So salary is 501 has been it's there on the credit side and it's on the debit side 5,500. Then 502 17,500 is also there, you can see here. So I can write another thing, another one. Standing order 9,000 is not there, so standing order I'll keep it, but I just compare this now. Like these are values which is excess, but I'm not seeing this value. First of all, I'm just comparing my values here. So this values rent is not there, 9,000 is not there, so I'm going to put a cross here. It's not there. Okay, so first of all, I need to see my values, then only I should see the bank statement later. Then purchase 505, is it there? 12,000, it's there. So I'm gonna put two ticks, 12,000 and 12,000, 505. Then we have 506, 17,000 is not there. So I'm gonna put another cross. So we found that there are two checks which is not there, on the bank account, which is represented on the bank account, not there on the bank statement. So I'm going to take this as unpresented checks. Why I take it as unpresented check? Because I have presented in my bank account, but the bank has not presented under their account. So I'll write unpresented checks. As there are two checks, I'll write beneath checks. You guys, I hope you guys can see this clearly. I will show it later. Once I get all these values, I will zoom a bit inside. If this is very small for your eyes, I'm very sorry guys. This is how I can show you the entire view of the sum. So I want you guys to be patient until the sum gets finished. Be patient, watch the entire thing, then you will understand the sum. So unpresented checks, what do we have? We have 503 rent, 503. Okay, 503. Then what do we have? We have another thing which is a creditor, 506. 6. So they have given a name on the unrealized check. They haven't given a name. They have said it's a check. So when they say it's a check, we don't know exactly how to consider. Just we can write check on the unrealized check. So now these values which are compared with my bank account with the bank statement goes to where, guys? Under this comes under where? Bank reconciliation statement. Now for your understanding, guys. First of all, give the values. Then you can do the sum easily. Okay. Now we found the values. Now I'm going to compare my bank statement with the bank account. When I compare my bank statement with the bank account, what are the values? What I'm going to get? So I'm going to see. I think most of them are ticked, so it's going to be unticked. So I'm going to compare my credit side, I mean debit side with the credit side. You see, these all are ticked, so which means there's nothing to tick. Then you see it is in the bank statement, not there in the bank account. Can you see this here? See my cursor? Nothing. 19,000 is not there, and bank charges is not there. So in this standing order and bank charges is comes under bank account on the credit side. So I'll write here what are things which is found standing order. So now this comes under bank account, adjusted bank account. Then standing order, how much they are taken? No, we'll take it later. So standing order. Then we have bank charges, right? Bank charges on the credit side. So these comes on the credit side. Just put for my knowledge credit. And on the bank account, what is coming on the debit side? Can you see something? 6 deposited 2, 3, 4, 15,000. Is it the value they're preferring? 15,000, 8,000? No. There I have put the tick in the wrong place actually. 15,000 is already there, so I can erase this off. What is not there? So this tick should come up a bit up. Okay, so this is 15,000 here. What is not there is 8,000, so I'm going to put a cross for that. Right? I put a cross for that. So now this 8,000 is a direct remittance, so that comes on the debit side of the bank account. So I'm going to write here direct remittance. I write here 8,000, and I'll write here debit. Now I'm going to adjust this particular sum in my bank account and bank reconciliation statement. Let's do it now together. Let's prepare the sum together, guys. Now I'm going to open up. I'm going to erase this off. Now you also show you all understood how I got this tick. So I'm going to erase this off, clear it. I'm going to put it under bank account first of all. You all know how a bank account looks like, guys. So I'm going to write a bank account here because the values are here. So I'll drop a bank account first of all. It doesn't take much time, like the previous sum which we did. I'll write bank account. Now I need to bring the balances of bank account. You can see here. I'll show my spotlight. This balance carried down. This balance only I should take it under bank account because this is the bank account which we already prepared. So 19,000 I will show it under brought forward. Right? Brought forward 19,000. Easy. Now we have the credit side standing order and bank charges which I have already recorded. Standing order bank loan is 19,000. So I can write credit side standing order 19,000. Right. My cursor, but my length is not enough for the account. So I'll make it a bit big. Then we have bank charges. What is the bank charge? They are taken 2,000. So I'll write bank charges. So after writing this, I have one more thing, direct remittance, which we are taken on the debit side. So I'll write direct remittance 8,000, right? So easy as that. I recorded. Now I need to finalize this sum. How can I do this, guys? I'm going to take the entire total. 19 plus 8 is 27,000. So I'm going to take a total column balance. So it's easy for me to record. So 19 plus 8 is 27,000. Then I'm moving on to the next part. I'm going to write the same amount, 27,000 on the credit side as well. I'm going to reduce 19 plus 2 is 21,000. So I'm going to reduce 21,000 from 27,000. So if I reduce 21,000 from 27,000, I get a carried forward balance of 6,000. I'm going to prepare a bank reconciliation statement which you already found. 6,000 is the actual difference. So I'm going to draw a bank reconciliation statement, right? So finally, when my sum is correct, as I said, guys, my debits, my bank statement balance and my bank reconciliation balance should be equal. If it is not equal, I have done a blunder. So I should be not doing a blunder. I hope I am not doing a blunder. And I hope you guys are also not doing a blunder with me. Then moving on to the point, I'm going to write here bank reconciliation statement, right? So I'll write here the balance as per adjusted cash book or balance as per adjusted bank account, adjusted bank account. So what is the value we are bringing from the bank account? You can see here 6,000. If you are seeing, I have already that is the amount we're going to transfer to the bank reconciliation statement. So I'll write here 6,000. I'll put two more lines for this because this is a bit incomplete as I feel. Okay, bottom border. So then I'm going to write unprecedented. I'm going to add it, guys. Unprecedented check. And I have unrealized check, right? So I'm going to write the values and the amount. So unprecedented check, you guys can see I have taken rent 503, 506. So I'll write rent 503, creditor 506. What's the value I can take for this sum? Rent 503. What's the value, guys? 503 9,000, 506 17,000. So I can write 9,000 and 17,000. So I'll write here 9,000 and 17,000. So altogether you will get a value of 26,000. You can show here 26,000. So when you add it with 26 plus 6, it is going to be 32,000. I'm going to take unrealized check a bit down to make a good comparison of what I'm going to do. So now I'm going to move on to my unrealized checks value 18,184. So check number 184. What is the value they have taken? 18,000. So unrealized check I should deduct it, guys. So I'm gonna take this side. I'm going to deduct it 18,000. So if I deduct 18,000 from 32,000, what is the value I'm getting, guys? In total, I'm getting a total of 32 minus 18 will give me a value of 14,000. So now I'm going to write balance as per bank statement. Now I'm going to see, is this the balance what they are shown on the sum? Just one shot, guys. I did this just to see. I even didn't go trial with you, but I just did it, guys. I hope this is going to be the same. 14,000 is equal to this 14,000. You see, it's a magic. So we have done it completely. 14,000 of the bank statement which you are seeing. Let me show you a complete view on what we have done. So this is a complete view on what we did. So this 14,000 which is in your textbook for bank statement, that 14,000 is equivalent to the 14,000 which we did, which means we have done this sum completely. And thanks, guys, for watching the activity 4. If you are not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel now. You can learn it more. Chapter number 10 will be uploaded soon within a week of time. So you should be always be ready to learn a lot of things with me. So please subscribe to the channel and comment if this video is very, very useful for you. And if you like my lecturing, please comment it, guys. So it will be helpful for me to improve more on future. So let's move on to activity number 5. So it's a very straightforward question, but I just missed out one particular part of this question. What is that? They asked you state the reasons for the difference between the balance as at 31st 5. So I didn't write the number 1, but the reasons are these. What are the reasons we found? Unrealized check, unpresented checks, bank account, standing order, bank charges. So the same things you can write in 5. Like the first one, you can write the 5 reasons. What are the reasons? Unrealized check. I can write the first answer for you. Second and third one we did now, which is second one is bank account and third one is bank reconciliation statement. And I can also write the second thing is unpresented. Let me zoom a bit, guys. Zoom in a bit. So what are the 5 reasons we found? Second was unpresented. Then third one was due to bank charges. Then standing order. Finally, direct remittance. So answer number 1 I have given you. Answer number 1. So this is number 1. Then number 2 is what? Number 2 is what we did for bank account. It's also given for your knowledge. Then number 3, bank reconciliation statement. Easy as that, guys. So we have finalized. Then we'll move on to the last part of the sum, which is the activity number 5. It's a very easy one. They ask, assume that the bank account, I'm going to zoom a bit. I can write the answer here itself rather than going for bank. I mean for Excel sheet. I'll zoom a bit because you can have a good view on what I'm going to read now. Assume that a bank has sent a bank statement which includes the transactions carried out through the bank current account. In the month of March 2000, your verification revealed that the bank account balance is different from the bank statement balance. State the possible reasons for the difference between the bank account balance and the balance of the bank statement. I said no all this time. We wrote the answer on the number one also. The five reasons are maybe most of the time unrealized check, unpresented check, standing order, direct remittance, and also bank charges. So these are the five reasons you can take why the bank account and the bank balance might be different. These are the reasons. They didn't ask you to explain, they asked you to state. So stating is more than enough. But I said state that in your answer. From the above identified reasons, yeah, from the above identified reasons. So they're asking from the above identified reasons, select and list the reasons if the balance of bank statement exceeds the balance of bank account. So in which position, in which area balance of bank account will exceed the bank account. So now I need to remind you one particular thing, guys. Let me write you these things and show you. When it comes to unrealized checks, guys, unrealized checks is where the bank has not taken this into the account consideration. So here bank statement will decrease, it will not increase. Why is that it will decrease? Because if bank statement has not, has not taken the values of unrealized, then of course the bank statement cannot increase. It will always decrease because it is not increasing. Unrealized check is on the debit side of the bank account, but then it is not added to the credit side. So it will always be a minus point for bank statement. So it will always not give a correct value when it compares to bank account. So it will always be less. Then when we see unpresented check, like you have presented the checks to the bank, but the bank forgot to present it. Like, so if you see your bank account will be very less than bank statement because you in your accounts you have reduced it, but bank forgot to reduce it, which means bank statement has exceeded. So I can write exceeded, the correct term, exceeded. Bank statement did not exceed. Right. Then another three reasons which we spoke, guys. What are the three reasons? We had a standing order. What happens when there's a standing order? When the standing order is there, actually bank statement considers as a debit and they reduce the bank statement. But in bank account we don't see. So bank account is higher than the bank statement. So bank statement did not exceed again. Then what is the next fourth part, guys? We have bank charges. So bank considered the bank charge, but we didn't consider the bank charge. So when bank has considered bank charge, bank statement did not exceed because when you compare bank statement and bank account didn't consider bank charge. So bank account will be higher than the bank statement. So bank statement cannot exceed the bank account. Then we have the fifth one, which we spoke, direct remittance. If the bank has considered the direct remittance and we forgot to consider the direct remittance, then of course what would happen, guys? That will increase the bank statement. So bank statement will exceed. Will exceed. So I have given you the correct way. I think somewhere or some point I have given you all the informations in this. Maybe when I'm writing one or two letters might be spelling wrong or something because I always try to finish it off fast. So if you see any spelling mistake, guys, don't unlike the video because you just found out one particular letter on mistake. But we all are humans, right? We all are not perfect. So if you guys like this video, please subscribe my channel to learn with me more, and you can expect chapter number 10 soon as possible. See you guys on another video, and please hit subscribe to learn with me more in future. Have a nice day, guys.